Hello everyone, Justin Cook here. I hope that you're doing well. I know this is a crazy time for everyone. I wanted to send out a video and kind of talk a little bit about the housing market and also provide some information of where you can get help if you need it. Um, it'll be kind of a long video and I'm going to try to do it all in one take, so forgive any mistakes I've made. If you see me looking away, I've got a bunch of notes that I'm going to share. So may not be the finest of production, but none of them are anyway. So anyway, a lot have asked about the market. I'll give you my perspective of what it's like right now. I'm still working. I still have clients who need to buy and sellers who need to sell. The listings, if they're priced right and if they're nice, they're selling fast still. And the market has been pretty strong, pretty resilient. I haven't seen any values drop yet. I know it's still early on, so I'm not saying that's always going to be the case. But so far, the market has been good. Now, I certainly have seen more cancellations, so a lot of buyers have pulled out of deals that they were in. But because our demand has been strong and our supply low, these properties are still selling. Again, that we're like into this thing full on, for about a month, right? And so I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case, but as of now, the markets remain strong and resilient. Now, predicting the future, I don't really want to do that because I don't know what's going to happen. I've never been through a pandemic before. The last one we had was like in the 1900s, and I tried calling my great grandma to see what it was like, but she hasn't returned my calls from heaven, so I don't know. I will say this though. I sold homes during the Great Recession, and this is a totally different feeling. Back then, you could kind of feel something was wrong with the housing market to begin with. The demand was fake. The supply was way overbuilt, and people couldn't afford the homes the second that they owned them. This time around, we have strong demand, especially here in Arizona. We have an undersupply of homes, which is why even despite the cancellations, these homes are still selling. And people can afford their homes, and they have equity in their homes. Now, for many people, loss of job, loss of income, they're probably concerned if they can continue to afford their homes. And that's partly why I wanted to share some information is we don't want to panic. We don't want people just to start putting up their homes for sale and dropping the prices for a quick sell. I don't think that's necessary. In fact, I think most people should be able to keep their homes, and here's why. I'm going to go over some information. A lot of it comes from the CARES Act, that $2.2 trillion Emergency Relief Act, and then also just a few other things. And hopefully these things might help you if you are in a situation where you're wondering if you can keep your home or not. The first thing, so Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, most loans in America would fall under those categories. They are allowing a forbearance of your mortgage. What that means simply is you can kind of postpone payments. Okay, they're allowing up to 180 days, no fees or penalties or added interest for your forbearance. You still have to make that payment, but you don't have to do it right now when things are super tough. And that should allow you time to get some of the other help that could be coming your way so that you can make your payment. The key on that, and talk to your bank. So your bank might have their own programs too, where they might modify your loan or accept partial payments. Talk to your bank for sure. Contact your bank if you're worried about it. But that should be some relief for you if you are concerned about your next payments coming up. Part of the CARES Act, one of the big things that I think benefits us is if you do have a loan modification or forbearance, partial payment, typically your credit would be dinged for that. It would affect your credit score negatively. This act, as part of the CARES Act, says no, that these banks have to report that to the credit bureau as current. So that's going to protect your credit score. During the Great Recession, people's credit was hammered, totally hammered, and it takes years to recover from that. This time around, you should be able to protect your credit. So that's a huge plus. The thing that people are probably most familiar with are the direct payments. So if you're an individual and make $75,000 or less, you would get $1,200 plus $500 per kid. If you make between $75,000 and $99,000, then that $1,200 kind of phases out. So the closer you are to $99,000, the smaller amount of that $1,200 you would get. If you're a married couple, then and you make under $150,000, then you would get $2,400 plus $500 per kid. It's also phased out between $150,000 and $198,000. So that hopefully will be some immediate funds that could help you make your payment or do other things that you need to do. That should be hitting you pretty soon. I know that they extended unemployment insurance to where those that qualify would get $600 a week for that. This is another one I think is great. If you have retirement funds and you need your retirement funds to get through this next few months or however long we're in, normally you would be charged with a 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's being waived. So you can use your retirement funds to get through this difficult time that we're in. A lot of business owners like this one, if you have a small business, you can get SBA loans. You can use those for covering your payroll, your rent, your mortgage interest, utilities. The reason why they love this is you can get loans of up to $2 million over a 30-year term at a 3.75% interest rate. That's going to make a very affordable payment, right? So the small businesses can pay their employees. They can continue to pay rent or buy their supplies, and it's spread out over a 30-year term at a low interest rate. That was according to the Forbes article where I got this information, and I'll post that. Small businesses can also defer their payroll taxes. That'll help them keep people employed. Also, for small businesses, there's a $10,000 grant. It says borrowers can receive $10,000 in an emergency grant cash advance that can be forgiven if spent on paid leave, maintaining payroll, increased costs due to supply chain disruption, mortgage or lease payments. So a grant you don't have to pay back. So some of these businesses can get this $10,000. They just have to use it to keep their business running, right? They probably shouldn't use it for buying a boat or something, but if they use it to keep their business running, $10,000, and they don't have to pay that back. You have to qualify for that as well. I'm going to provide a whole bunch of links to these things so that if you feel like you need one of them, you can go to my website, click on the link, and hopefully find the help that you need. Those are the main things from the CARES Act I wanted to point out. There's more in it, but those are just ones that I thought would be good to talk about. Arizona is doing a few things as well. The Arizona Department of Housing is offering assistance also. It's through their Save Our Home AZ program, where they might be able to help you make your mortgage payment. And then also Governor Ducey issued an executive order of no evictions for 120 days. That doesn't mean that a person's not going to have to pay rent. They're just deferring their rent as well, kind of like a forbearance. But for 120 days, nobody should be getting kicked out if their income is tied to the coronavirus. So if somebody just doesn't want to make their payment because, I don't know, they're not a great person, they just thought they would live rent free, that's a different story. But if you're impacted by the coronavirus, then they're giving you 120 days, no evictions, and that should give you the time to get unemployment insurance if you need it, for those direct deposits to come in. Maybe you'll qualify for that grant, to get kind of things back on track. Also, Arizona has $5 million set aside to help people make their rental payments. So that's first come, first serve. So if you need help, you might get on that quick. I have some tenants myself. They're both in the restaurant industry. We've talked, and they're trying to. We've reached kind of a plan of how to move forward. Definitely want them to stay in their home. They want to stay in the home. They just need a little bit of time to get things sorted out. That's it. I mainly wanted to just raise some awareness. If you're worried about your house payment or whatever it might be, that hopefully there's something here that can help you get through this hard time. Do your own research, though. I researched it as best as I could, but obviously do your own research. Big thing is talk to your lender. Talk to your landlord. Don't just assume you don't have options. Reach out. I think there's more options than maybe what you would expect. Lastly, yeah, I sincerely hope everyone's doing well. I know this is a scary time for a lot of people, both physically and financially. Hopefully, there's somebody in your life, a friend, a family member, a member of your congregation, or a club where you can go to for help. But consider me a person as well. If you need something, please let me know. I love my job. I love real estate, not so much because of the real estate side of it. I love people. I love working with people. I hate to see people struggle. So if I can help in any way, I certainly would want to help. That's it. And I hope everybody stays safe, and hopefully we'll get back to a normal life soon. See ya.